Talks have restarted between the UK and the EU on a Brexit trade deal a day after the announcement that negotiations would continue beyond Sunday's self-imposed deadline. As the UK's chief negotiator headed to the meeting in Brussels, his counterpart Michel Barnier suggested that there are now only 2 outstanding issues rather than 3. He said a deal was still possible. Well, let's cross over to Brussels, where we can speak to our correspondent, Jack Parrock. Jack, you've been speaking to the EU's Finance Commissioner. What have you learned?
Hi there, Oliver. Yeah, so we have been following this Brexit story. It appears that there was some positivity about the chances of a deal. They now have no deadline apart from the end of the transition period, which is the 31st of December. As you said, my colleague Maeve McMahon, a fellow Brussels correspondent here, she's been speaking to Mairead McGuinness, who is the EU's Financial Services Commissioner. She's newly in place, just a few months, and she's been talking about her feelings about the chances of a deal.
Trying to get a good trade deal between the European Union and the United Kingdom. I mean, there have been many false dawns that the deadline would not be met, and we're in this phase now where, at the very least, and it is comforting, both the European Union and the United Kingdom are prepared to go the extra mile. So I think that's a better place than 1 week ago, but it doesn't diminish the amount of work that needs to be done to bridge the gap between the two sides.
And the talk of the town now, Oliver, really is about the potential for a provisional approval of this agreement, whether the European Parliament can put it into place provisionally, and also potentially even some of the parliaments around Europe that also need to ratify the deal. And so everyone's questioning, with just a matter of weeks to go, whether there can be some sort of fudges to make sure that no deal doesn't happen by default if they manage to get a deal, but it still needs to be put through the Parliament. So all eyes on the intense talks that will continue throughout this week.
Thanks, Jack.